There are debates going on all around. Some say we should stop singing this sad song and forget our call for reparation. But we just can't sit down, forget and ignore the pain and sorrows our ancestors had to endure. The horror of slavery still haunts this generation because they never asked to be stolen and forced into servitude, chained up, shackled, bruised and battered and treated oh so crude. Millions of white oppressors benefited by enslaving Africans, so the descendants of slaves have a right to call for reparation. For all the slaves that they stole away, tell them that they have to pay. We want reparation for slavery. For all the violence and all the hurt, for making Africans believe that they had no right. We want reparation for slavery. For all of the pain and all of the shame. Somewhere, somehow, we want reparation now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Somewhere, somehow, we want reparation now. Whoa. African women were raped by white slave masters to satisfy their sex craved desires, while black men could only watch and do nothing. And the African slave tried to run away without a doubt it was hell to pay. If they got caught, they would be lynched or they'd lose a limb. They were denied education and all basic human rights. To live as a slave was to live a horrible life. In the service of the white slave master, from the cradle to the grave, no compensation, no hope for the Africans to live. For all of the work they did in the past, for giving them all love and human time. We want reparation for slavery. For the Jim Crow laws and segregation, for all those who got lynched by the Ku Klux Klan. We want reparation for slavery. For all those atrocities, reparation, painful memories. Somewhere, somehow, we want reparation now. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Somewhere, somehow, we want reparation now. Listen, they broke up the African family, took away their rights and their dignity. Their religion and way of life was stolen. Subject them to a cultural genocide, took away the sense of African pride. Their defiant African spirit was broken. The transatlantic journey separated Africans from Africa. Many were scattered through the diaspora. Thousands died while making the journey to toil as a slave in the white man's land. So this is a call on behalf of those Africans. For every slave who died while making that So slavery, for all of the tears, reparation, all of slavery, somewhere, somehow we want reparation now. Whoa, 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 somewhere, somehow we want reparation now. Take my load. Whoa. Reparation for the Holocaust, American Indians for their painful past, Aborigines in Australia got some as well. But not one thing for the Africans who they stole from their native land. It seems Africans were born to catch real hell. Great Britain and North America stole the wealth out of Africa. They built their empires on the back of slave labor. And when they said that slavery was over, the white slave masters got compensation. But yet today, Africans still fighting for reparation. Then I heard it from a British Prime Minister say, forgetting slavery happened yesterday. Who in the man has sincere apology, then it's trying to throw African legacy. For slavery, for all of the pain, and all of the shame. Somewhere, somehow we want reparation. Whoa, 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 whoa. Somewhere, somehow we want reparation. Somewhere, somehow we want reparation. Listen. They broke up the African family, took away their rights and their dignity. Their religion and way of life was stolen. Subject them to a cultural genocide, took away the sense of African pride. Their defiant African spirit was broken. The transatlantic journey separated Africans from Africa. Many were scattered throughout the diaspora. Thousands died while making the journey to toil as a slave in the white man's land. So this is a call on behalf of those Africans. For every slave who died while making that trip, for every slave who was ever for slavery, for every slave who was sold on the auction block, white men called them good African stock. So slavery, for all of the tears, reparation, all of slavery, somewhere, somehow we want reparation now. Whoa, 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 somewhere, somehow we want reparation now. Take my load. Whoa. Reparation for the Holocaust, American Indians for their painful past, Aborigines in Australia got some as well. But not one thing for the Africans who they stole from their native land. It seems Africans were born to catch real hell. Great Britain and North America has got compensation, but yet today Africans still fighting for restoration. Then I hear it from a British Prime Minister say, forgetting slavery happened yesterday. Who in the man has sincere apology, then it's trying to African legacy. Reparation for slavery, for all of the reparation, and all of the shame. Somewhere, somehow we want reparation. Whoa, 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 whoa. Somewhere, somehow we want reparation. Let's not even get up.
Oh, yes. Tiny dear. We want reparations now. We want reparations now. They want reparations now. Good evening to you and welcome to Politics 101. We're moving very swiftly. In fact, we're there already in the emancipation season. And it all started this weekend. Wherever you're joining us from, please, a very good evening to you and welcome to Politics 101. Despite the government's spitefulness, the Emancipation Observances must go on. And we are moving and we are going on. They're still interfering with us. Interfering with us. Good evening. Welcome to Politics 101. We come tonight with sad news. One of our brothers, African brother, true African brother, Dr. Simpson de Silva, one of the youngest government ministers, he was appointed Minister of Agriculture by Forbes Burnham, passed away yesterday. He appeared on this program a couple of times, 2 or 3 times. Dr. Simpson de Silva, agriculturist, herbalist, folklorist, scholar, Africanist, gone. Came as a shock to some of us who didn't know that he was sick, and even to those who knew that he was sick, it's still a shock. Relatively young man, gone, the ancestors. Dr. Simpson de Silva. Good evening to you all and welcome to Politics 101, wherever you're joining us from, whether you're joining us from inside of Guyana, and all the African villages that are gearing up, all the African communities that are gearing up for emancipation, not only here in Guyana, but across the Caribbean. And wherever Caribbean people are, the 1st of August, 1838. August morning, come again, as we would sing in the old days. Welcome to Politics 101. Good evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Well, here we are. This year, as you know, they're interfering with we. We've been doing our Emancipation Observances forever, and we've reported on this program that what they have been doing recently is that they meaning the government, handpicking some African slave catchers, They don't like me using that term, but I'll continue to use it. Handpick some African slave catchers and give them a whole set of money to go into the African communities and to put on alternative events. They're trying that in Georgetown with putting on an event near to Agda's event. And in places where they have opted not to do the alternative events, like Buxton, what they've done is that they've decided not to give us any resources. Let me give you the history of that. It must have been about 20 years ago, maybe, the government started to give small little stipends to African organizations to help with their emancipation activities. And it will come through, it used to be through the museum, the African Museum, and then it started to be done through the Ministry of Culture. When the Granger government came in, they continued it. And this government, when it came in, it continued it. Well, this year, they've decided that they would give those stipends to the slave catchers. And then some organizations, like our organization in Boston, the First of August movement, this year they've given zero, nothing. We learned today that nothing after receiving the small stipend that helped in little ways from the Ministry of Culture. We learned today that we have not been given any money from the Ministry of Culture. No explanation given. We just don't have money. And if you didn't get any money, in today's papers, Eric Phillips, who's a member of ACDA, pointed out that they used to give ACDA a stipend, and they cut that stipend, I think, by more than half this year. And but ACDA is a little bit better than us in the First of August movement of Boston. They have given us not a blind cent. Last year, for full disclosure, last year they gave us $500,000. Our budget was $1.5 million upwards. You see, when we put on these activities, we've got to, rent tents and lights and all the infrastructure that comes, seats and chairs and all that stuff. And then, when we put on the big concerts, like we are doing in Boston, that ACDA is doing at the National Park, we've got to give the artists a donation. I don't want to say pay them, because some of them don't take full pay. We give them a part of it and so on. But we have to give the artists. So a lot of resources go into that. And if you do feeding, like we do, you have to buy food and so on. And then if you do as we're doing, we have an essay competition. We've got to get prizes for the entrance. We have a poetry competition. So that's where the money that we would get to spend. And as I said, last year, they gave us $500,000 and our budget was 1.5. So it was about a third. And we were able to raise the rest of that through contributions here in Politics 101. And a villager gave us a sizable donation. We were able to cover our bills last year. And the excess money that we had, we gave some of it to the Belladrum Group and to Coffee 250 for the annual State of the Union conference. This year, they've given us zero. And our budget is almost $2 million. So they've given us the $500,000 they gave last year. They did not give us any this year. Remember last year, the Prime Minister attempted to tell us he's coming. Never happened before, but last year, the Prime Minister said he was coming and he would speak last. And, we had to tell him that's not how we do it in Boston. So obviously, we are being punished for that. We are being punished for that. In many regards, some of us had anticipated that. Now, here is the story. That money is not PPP money. money is government money, our own money. But they decide that, as they did with G, as they did with ACDA, as they're doing with a number of other organizations. People at Stanford, for example, said they didn't get any money this year too, and a number of organizations like ours didn't get any money. So it's part of the story is they continue to use the money as their personal purse and decide those of us who talk back and fight back against their politics will not get a cent. That's the government, the spitefulness that we're dealing with. The 1st of August movement of Buxton was born in 1969. It's the oldest African organization still alive in Guyana. And we started to do emancipation from 1969. So it's 55 years we've been doing this. 55 years we've been doing this. I know I grew up with the organization. I joined in 1974. So it's 50 years since I've been organizing, part of the organizing in Buxton of emancipation events. So I know the story. And we, even before 1st of August was a holiday, we in Buxton took it as a holiday. Buxtonians never worked on that day, and we would do our activities. Sometimes the activities started in the old days, started before emancipation. They would go into the schools and do lectures and so on and so forth, because part of our thing is education, it's cultural, and then there is some entertainment and so on. This year we have a big program, an extensive program, because we feel that we have to bring back a level of cultural pride, and we have to tackle our young people with education and so forth. And so this year we have an extensive program. We launched yesterday with a church service, very upbeat church service, and we had a good time worshiping. And after worshiping, there was the feasting, eating, metem, and cook up rice and marby and rice porridge, rice pop. I hadn't had some of that in years, in decades. And that was it for me yesterday at the Christ Ambassador Church, Bishop Terry. And then tomorrow we do the other religious thing, and that's the libation, the African libation ceremony. That's going to be held at the Market Square in Buxton. Those of you who are in Buxton and around, please show up. It starts at 6 o'clock at the Market Square. The Market Square in Buxton, the Buxton Monument, Buxton Emancipation Monument, that was built by our foreparents in 1938 to mark 100 years of the abolition of slavery. And that monument, we have nice it up, and it's there in front of the Market Square. And we go there every year to do our libation. So that's tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And that event will be officiated over by the faithist, spiritualist people in the village. Mother Pam, Mother Desiree, Mother Georgie will be officiating. Brother Dion Abrams would officiate. The drums will be there. And we will ask the ancestors' permission to do what we will do for the rest of the month. So that's tomorrow evening at 6 o'clock. And then on Wednesday night is our big Black is Beautiful concert and culture night. Black is Beautiful concert and culture night. Headline, Yoruba singers, the Buxton Fusion drummers, the Buxton Pride Steel Band, and we have a range of individual artists and group doing dancing, storytelling, Nancy's story, the range. And people keep calling us calling us to get on to the program. So it's going to be quite a packed program tomorrow night. Of course, the vendors will be there. The conky would be on sale, and Marby and ginger beer and everything else that you need. African would be there. And that's how they lined up. All roads lead there to Buxton tomorrow night. We'll also have a part of it where we bring together our leaders. Brother Aubrey Norton, Brother Nigel Hughes, and I will be there with them to address the nation from Buxton. Address the nation from Buxton. They'll be giving their emancipation address from Buxton tomorrow night. Our Black is Beautiful concert. And we ask you all to be there. To be there. And as you notice, we bring all the leaders because they are our leaders. And on our day, in our season, we want them to talk to us. And then the next day, 1st of August itself, Emancipation Day itself, we have the soiree. The soiree. Emancipation, what we call big people, elders and adults soiree. Big people, elders and adults. So it's everybody. Big people, elders and adults soiree. That's when we get together and we congasa. We dance up and sport up and eat up and drink up. Feasting. The soiree and feasting will be done on 1st of August itself. And that starts at midday at Club Twilight, Rushdam, Sidelines, oh Lord, Rushdam, Sideline at Kedaki's Place. Kedaki's Place. And a very nice place. And we invite everybody to come out. The one-man band will be there and Popular Stereo. Super Cat one-man band would be there. And so we're asking all the big people, all the adults, which means all once you're over 18, you're welcome. And especially our elders, we big people and elders, we want them to come and let the young people honor you on that day, feed you, dance with you, have a good time. Have a good time. All right? And that's on the 1st of August. And then on the 4th of August, we switch to education. Sunday, next week Sunday. We have the AUC Guyana Annual Emancipation Symposium. Our elder, our sage, we do that symposium in his honor. In his honor on the first Sunday of August, the 4th. And the topic is African Guyanese Identity and Resistance in the context of state-sponsored racial discrimination, state-sponsored and other forms of racial discrimination. And we have a big panel, very big panel. Vincent Alexander is going to be there. Eric Phillips is going to be there. Dawn Holder, who was on this program last week, she will be there. Takuma Ogunse will be there. Dr. Henry Jeffrey will be there. The program is going to be moderated by university lecturer Dwayne Benjamin. I would be there on the panel also. So that's Vincent Alexander, Eric Phillips, Henry Jeffrey, Don Holder Cush, David Hines, Takuma Ogunse will make up the panel. It's a very big panel, and we will discuss the issue. And so that's next Sunday. Last year, we were sold out, meaning before the thing started, we had to get extra chair and try to pack them in corners. So come early so that you can get your seat, because people come from all over the East Coast and from as far as, Georgetown. Somebody was there from a carload of people came from New Amsterdam last year, and so on. So it's a signal event, and that's on Sunday, the 4th. And we take a break, and then on the 25th, we have a business expo where we bring together especially young entrepreneurs in the village to bring their products and to showcase their products and to sell their products, to network. And that's on the 25th of August. And then we end the month. On the last day of the month, the 31st, we launch our youth essay competition and our youth poetry competition. We launch them on that day, and they, of course, the children, young people, would have time to do their essays and so on, and that will go into September when school reopens. So we have a big program this year, an extended program. We are challenging our young people. We are using it to put emphasis on a couple of things: on culture, education, and entrepreneurship. 3 areas that we feel that Black people have to pull our socks up. Entrepreneurship, making money. Whatever else you're doing, you can work for government and still do a business on the side and make money. So we are stressing entrepreneurship. We are stressing education, because education is what made us what we are today. And we are faltering, especially the coming generation. And culture. When I was growing up, we had any number of what you call drama group, culture groups in the villages. Now you don't have those things. And so we want to encourage young people. They got people who can dance and sing more than we. Then got people who can do that. But we're not organized. And so we want to get our people to organize as groups again. And then to make money in my time, you would do the plays and so on. And you also charge a little small piece to come in. And we want to go back to that point where people are not just doing the thing because they like to sing and dance. We want to encourage young people to think about entrepreneurship. So we want to use the activities this year to encourage a new thinking among our people. So it's an extensive. And as I said, our budget is close to $2 million, because we've got to, all these events, we have to have snacks, we have to have food, we have to rent things, tents, light, and all those kinds of things. And then, like the big concert, we give stipends and the thing. Yoruba Singers doesn't charge us the full thing. But, we still have to meet the bill with them, the Buxton Fusion, the steel band and so on. And the government decided they're not going to give us 1 cent. We preempted them on this program because I launched on this program an emancipation fund. I started to do it 2 years ago. Last year, it helped us because our budget was 1.5. The government gave us 0.5. So what we collected here helped, and then we got donations from other individuals, and we got enough, and we were able to give to Belgium, another village, and to give to Coffee 250, and so forth. And we launched it here again this year, and some of you have contributed. Some of you have contributed, so we're on our way. And now more than ever, since they've decided not to give us any money, is more reason for the rest of you to contribute. Because the second part of the story is that we don't want to, what we're noticing, we don't want to be dependent on government. Because if you're imagine if we had not launched this fund here on Politics 101, and we got that news today that they're not giving we money, imagine what would have happened to our activities. So part of what I'm encouraging here is for us to start being self-sufficient in small ways. We are never going to be fully self-sufficient. No group is fully self-sufficient without government input. Don't let people fool you. That is what government is there for. It's not PPP money. It's not the government money, it's our money. But I'm saying, when a government has declared war on you, as they've declared war on African people, we have got to fortify ourselves. They cut out the money by 2/3, I think, by 2/3. They cut we own by 100%. And there are other groups around the country who they don't give anybody any money. And they're giving people money in these communities to do stupidness, to put on sport. Nothing is wrong with dancing up and so on. We dancing up on 1st of August, worry. But we got culture, we got education, we got entrepreneurship, serious business. And our government decided to deny us a little bit of help for those things. We weren't depending on the government because we are raising our own resources. And you all on this program, you all have helped us already. Thank God that we went in that direction. We went in that direction. Or else they would have been laughing at us now. But they can't laugh at me, because despite their spitefulness, our observances will go on because of the help. Some of you have already contributed. The information is being put on the screen. So those of you who have not yet contributed, you know, have more than good reason to contribute. The Cash App information is there, the PayPal information is there, the Zelle information, the MMG information is there. I want to thank all those of you who have already contributed. Sharon came last night to Buxton, and as soon as she walked in, I was there. Kidaki had his little get together, and you know how there's it. She put the thing in my hand and fold my hand. Right? Thanks, Sharon. Thanks for all of you who have already contributed. Some of you I still have to thank personally. But I'm saying tonight, please, I don't care if it's $1, $5, show them that Black people will not be spited. Show them. And as Brother Guyana Jr., Kofi, his son, he called me today with his contribution, and he's coming and he's going to be part of the program because he's a reggae artist, and he comes home every year to participate in our program. And he called today to tell me about his contribution. I told him the contribution come in nice because of what the witches have done. And he said perhaps it's a blessing in disguise, because it will show us that we got to stand up on our own. Our foreparents, when they bought our villages, they didn't go to any bank for a loan. They don't go to any government for a stipend. They bought those lands on their own with their own contributions. With their own contributions. And if this government feel that they're going to use money to kill black people, or they're going to use money to make us fools because they dangle a little small piece before us, somebody called me today and said they heard somebody say, the people don't give me money because David Hines just abused them out. What me abusing them out got to do with giving we own money at emancipation? Well, they only make it worse for themselves because abuse them more. And there is life after the PPP. What they're doing is a crime. It's a crime to deny citizens their own resources. Not begging them for anything. I don't want nothing. We should want nothing from Freedom House. From the PPP, we didn't vote for them. So we should not want anything from PPP and Freedom House. But the government is not PPP government and state. They are only there as managers. The resources that are collected by the state come off the taxes of our people. And it comes from the blood and sweat of our people. And this government has decided that some people must never get any of it. Those are grounds. Those are grounds for, first of all, resistance, and second, to be manners. Whatever you say about Burnham, whatever you say about Burnham, he would never deny Indian Guyanese government resources on Diwali and Umanabi and their holidays. He never did, and he would have never done it. But these rascals, they're of a different type. And some of us still treat them as normal people, but they're not normal people. They're the worst kind of hooligans, political hooligans. There may be hooligans in other way, I don't know, and I don't care. I'm dealing with them politically. But our emancipation show will go on. Act the story is going on. You all go there. You all get little time, come up to Buxton. On Wednesday night is the Buxton Black is Beautiful concert and the soiree up at Hope Town. If you're from Georgetown, stop in Buxton. And if you're going up to Hope Town, go. Or you're going to Hope Town first and pass by with Buxton. Those of you who don't want to drive far, come to Buxton. And let us ring in our African New Year. Our African New Year. And we will be able to stand there and say, not a penny came from the government. We raised it on our own. Be a sense of pride and dignity. That is why we have to change the government. And that is why we not only have to change this government, but we have to say to those who are likely to take office when this government goes, you all got to look out for black people. Or else you all will hear from me. in or out of the government, you will hear from me if you want to look after black people. And me and a friend when it comes to that. I love Brother Nigel, I love Brother Aubrey. But if they take power and don't look out for the African, they're going to hear from me. And they should hear from all of us. This advantage that black people going through in this country has to stop. And you all black people can make up your all mind, you know. You all got to make up your all mind. You all got to stop being nice. You all got to stop being nice. That is why our theme this year is African identity and resistance. Identify yourself as African. And stop being timid. Resist these people. Resist them. Blessing in disguise, young Guyana told me. If you all were waiting to believe that these suckers will change, you all see for yourself now. Bostonians are being penalized as an African people, not 1 cent from their government to help with their celebration. Penalizing an entire village because they're black and because they're not PPP. Our show is going on. Our observances are going on. I want to thank some of you. I noticed Agre, and I know Agre contributed before. And Agre's contributed again. Thank you very much, my brother. Tyrone, thank you very much for your contribution. Lenandlal Singh, thank you for your contribution. And this is significant because if, based on the name, this is an Indian Guyanese brother or sister, I don't want to, because I'm not sure if the first name is feminine or thing. But this is significant. This is significant. Because although I talk to African people, because, you know, that's where I come from, I've always made the point, and I notice they acknowledge on the other side. David Hines is very clear. African people must speak for African people. Indian people must speak for themselves. Amerindian people must speak for themselves. We can speak of each other. I can speak of Indian indentureship. I can speak of Portuguese indentureship. But I cannot speak for Indians. I cannot speak for Africans. I can support. I feel their pain. Some people think that I don't care about Indian people or I don't care about Americans. I care about them as much as I care about Africans. But I'm not one of those people who got to become an Indian to care about Indian people. No, I'm an African who cares about Indian people and Amerindian people and all peoples because I care about my own people. If I didn't care about my own people, I can't care about other people. And so to my brothers or sister there who made that contribution, eternally grateful. And let me say why I'm eternally grateful and why we should be. The greatest test of your humanity is when you can feel the pain of your brother and sister who's not of your kind. You don't have to fight for Indians if you're African, but understand their pain. And if you're Indian, you don't have to fight for black people. Black people have to fight for themselves, but understand our pain. And this contribution is a great gesture that says you understand our pain. And that's the kind of Indian I want, the type of African I want, the kind of Amerindian. That you understand your own identity, but you understand the pain of others. Thank you all very much. Thank you very much. So here we are on the eve of emancipation with yet another kick in the ass from our government. But the kick that is intended for our asses is gone in thin air because we are not jackasses. I want you all black people to get radical. I want you all to get radical. Because it's not until you get radical that these people will understand that we are human beings. As the Calypsonian, the mighty Duke said, get on radical. And you know that Calypso, get on radical. I have defended and will continue to defend our right to be smart. A lot of my comrades, they said that, black people get starved, they don't do nothing, they don't fight back, they don't resist, and so on. And I defend you all right to decide when is the right time to do what you got to do. Because I think people just don't wake up and say, I want to behave radical. It's when the government poke the finger in your eye, when they try to kick you in your ass, that make you get radical. And I'm saying we are seeing enough for us to start making our moves. Look at what they do to the teachers. They grind those people, grind them till they call off the strike. And what they do? They offer them 7%, which is 0.5% more. Nothing. After you grind them, you don't even say, oh God, I grind these people down. They relent. Let me at least show some grace and offer them twice. No. These beasts. I don't care. I hear opposition people talking about whether Aubrey should be presidential candidate or Nigel. And in me village, they just big me up and say, me should be it and so on. I don't care. I don't care. Who? If a crappo from the opposition is a presidential candidate, you all get your asses out there and vote. And all them political elites who talking about who's good and who's, they better get their act together. I don't wish this for the coming generation. We have seen enough to know where these people are headed. kick us in our asses and get a few jackasses to run around the place as slave catchers. And we in the corner talking about who, whether Nigel or Aubrey or whoever, we dep on shit talk. That's what we on. We got to change that. These people have no good intention toward us. None. And we got to get off the nonsense talk. Some of our own people say, multiracial, and you got a multiracial. You think black people getting beat up as multiracial, getting beat up as black people? All the shit talk that we're into has to stop. Because we're the only people into that nonsense talk. Vincent Alexander and I were on a program on GlobeSpan. God bless the people who run GlobeSpan. But we were over there with the racial gurus for the PPP, the intellectual gurus for the PPP. They're into Indianism, but hiding and trying to pretend that they're not Indianists. They're Indianists and they have a right to be. But they're afraid of people like me and Vincent being Africanists. Because if we're Africanists, we're going to talk to you all about what African people should do. And we were over there. And we had to shoot down that nonsense about crossover voting and we're a nation of minorities and all that shit. Your percentage of the population is not your percentage of voters. If you're if a group is 40% of the population, it's not the population that's vote. It's adults that's vote, 18 years and over. And if you vote, if you raise, get plenty people below 18, and the other race get plenty people over 18, is the over 18 voting? What is the percentage of the population by race that votes? That is what is not your percentage of the population. Is what percentage is eligible to vote, and then what percentage is registered, and then what percentage actually vote. That is what determines election results. So they tell me, well, black people is 29%. I said, a damn lie. And mixed people are 20%. We are not 29%. Because most of those mixed people are black people. So we're not 29%. So the black people are 29%. So to get to 50%, the black party need 21% more. Damn lie. That's the first lie. Mixed people, most of them identify as black. We are not 29%. 29% of us say we black or African. Some of us choose to say we are mixed for whatever reason. And they know that. But they want to tell me we're so small, we can never win. So we got to cross over, we got to go to them. And when we go to them, we begin where we ask and shit through we ribs. Because that's what we're doing. going looking, searching for crossover vote. When we have enough vote on our side to take us very far. May not be able to take us right away over, but it takes us further than we normally are. Black man, black woman, black youth, are you buck up? This coming election is the mother of all contests. They said the one in 2020 was this one here. This one here. It's a referendum on whether African people are re-enslaved. That is what this coming election is about. That's it. Why first, we must make sure that it's free and fair. And second, we must go out and vote to every man, woman, and child. Some of my friends is one or the other. I reject that. It's both. Fight to make it free and fair. At the same time, prepare your ass to contest in it. We play around too much, our leaders of all stripes. We play around too much with the destiny of our people. Saddle up. Saddle up. The show must go on. Emancipation must go on. And it will go on. Tomorrow night in Buxton at 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock. At 6 o'clock. We are calling on the ancestors to guide us going forward. Courtney, thank you very much for your contribution. Tyrone, thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you very much. We are not going to allow them to dung our spirits, because our spirits are made of stronger stuff. Stronger stuff. We're not going to allow them to dung our spirit. We are going to press on. We are going to press on. And like I said, this is an opportunity for we to make clear to them that we are nobody's slave. We never were and never will. Never were, never will. Calvin, thank you. Kurt, thank you for your contributions. And the rest of you, please make your contribution. I don't care if it's $1, because it will help to pay for something. It is not the amount that matters, it's the gesture. We have an opportunity to, as we say in the old days, put your money where your mouth there. Put your little resources. The lady who came up to me and gave me her contribution, and she said when she draws her pension, whether the emancipation done or not, she get a further contribution. And that is the spirit, the cooperative spirit that we have to have as a people. So we are moving on. And go out in your numbers to act on Thursday. Come out in your numbers to the Buxton events. Wherever the village you are, whether it's Denhamstel, whether it's in Moko, stay away from the events put on by the slave catchers and attend the events that are put on by the liberators. Don't worry, the slave catchers. when the PPP go out from office, they still got to live in the villages. They still got to live in the villages. In the old days, you know, we had boys' school and girls' school. When you behave bad, we send to boys' school and girls' school. Where we got to create some boys' school and girls' school for them slave catchers in the villages. They feel they're now protected by the guns of the PPP. They feel they're protected by the guns of the PPP now. But when push comes to shove, the PPP will kick them in their backsides. They're already doing some of them that. You see what they're doing? All of a sudden, they're finding out that soldier does push weed. All of a sudden. I hope them little black boys in the army recognize what's happening. They give you all the opening for start pushing weed. And you are pushing small weed because you all know the big boys, them pushing the big weed. But when push come to shove, it's you all small weeders that they're pulling in. The big weeders, they're pulling them in. It's the Americans got pulled in, the big weed people. But all of a sudden, they discover army buys them now pushing weed. And all you fall for that. All you make them allow you to start doing nonsense. Not when the ass get in trouble. Who first they come in for is all you. All of a sudden last week, 2 army police based on intelligence. 2 army. Man, you pulled in last week or week before. This week, yesterday, 2 more. It's so predictable. In twos. Black man them. In twos. Based on intelligence. Oh, all of a sudden, they get intelligence that army people pushing weed. Oh, all of a sudden. No, they're throwing you all asses under the bus. And them who go in and put on them party tomorrow and 1st of August for them, when the shit start coming down, you all in your all backsides. And we gotta get by school and your school for some of you. Because you all need serious rehabilitation to be ratting on your brothers and your sisters for a couple dollars. If some of you must take your all dollar and stay in your corner. But some of y'all taking your all dollar and want to whine your all asses on your brothers and sisters. The message is identity. The message is resistance. No. No. Everything must be resistance. Election must be resistance. Because we're not giving up election to them. We're not giving up election to them. Because they're rigging the hell out of the election as we speak. And we can't make up our mind. So here we are. We are moving on. Tomorrow night, libation in Buxton, 6 o'clock. Are you come? Wednesday, Black is Beautiful. Are you dress up nice? Your African thing. Come. We got plenty. We got plenty. We got plenty. Plenty stuff going on. Plenty stuff going on. Come Wednesday night. Culture at its best. And then those who are vying to be our leaders, not them on the other side, them on we side, they will address the nation from Buxton. Aubrey gonna be there, Nigel gonna be there. I will always be there. Because they got to tell us, no, Because the last time they go in the Kakwi. They're going there on our backs, on our names. And they play the wrong. They play the wrong. I'm not saying they didn't do anything. I'm not that dishonest. There are things that they did that we benefited from as a group. But the fundamental issue of inequality and inequity, they did not address that. And these now, they got to address it. Because it's war if they don't address it. And they got to start telling us no. Because we're not buying any pig in bag. And we're not buying pig in bag. We did that the last time in 2015. We buy pig in bag. This time we're not buying pig in bag. We are moving, and we are moving seriously. That when they watch the black faces, they must see dread. Dread. Whatever else happened when we walked through the gates became true with dignity. I love that little brother who walked up to me in church yesterday. Little brother. I was talking to some ladies and I saw him standing, so I turned. So he said, no, Mr. Hines, when you finish, very polite. And I finished speaking to the ladies and I turned to him. And he told me who he was, who is his mother, who is his father, went to school with the mother, sit down in bench. And he said, I'm meeting you for the first time. I said, He said, yes. But I don't see you on TV and the internet. I said, He said, yes. He said, thank you for standing up for black people and for Buxtonians. I don't want anything else in life. I want to know that young people especially are recognizing that we are on a mission. That means more to me than anything else. Anything else. Anything else. Or the older guy who was sitting in front of the church as I was going out. And he shook my hand and said, well, I'm going home now and tell my children that I met Dr. Hines for the first time. Those things move me because it's not about me. It's that our people are tuning in. That is what is important. How about me? Is that our people are tuned in. Young people, older people are tuned in. And we got to keep tuning in, but we got to go one step further now. We got to get radical. We got to get radical. Power understands nothing short of radicalism. If my brother Kidaki was on, he would have said, well, Dr. Hines, explain to us how to be radical. And I would have to say, Kidaki, I cannot tell people how to be radical. People know how to be radical already. Good evening to Brother Kidaki. He is a good brother. Front line of the struggle. Quality. But he would ask me, oh, how to be radical. And then Gang gonna say, pick me. Are you hear me? Bush Gattes, pick me. Are you hear me? Kidaki. Let Dr. Hines alone. Bush Gattes. Good evening to all the gangs. Those are the older women with the wisdom to know that you talk half and you left half. And as teacher Judge go say, Bekini border hala, another yele. We got to get radical. That is what this emancipation must be about. Put on our radical suits and ready to roll. Again, tomorrow night, I'm going to try to. I'm going to try because the story is the libation starts at 6 o'clock. I know it ain't going done for 7, for me to get to command for 7. In fact, we're going to carry the libation live. What's his name? Sherrod, I think they're on vacation. So I can start at 8 if we done in good time. I'm not promising. If we done in good time, we'll do a 8 o'clock program. If not, we're going to skip tomorrow night. And then Wednesday, well, you know, the program got to be what's going on at the line tap in Buxton. So we're not going to meet in this setting, right? And Thursday, of course, is 1st of August. I don't know how I'm going to fit myself. They want me to go to pass through New Amsterdam. I got to pass through West Bobbies, Buxton, Georgetown. I don't know what will happen. But I'm tomorrow. So if you all don't see me tomorrow, we're not going to be back here like this until Friday. But by God, you all please make your donations. Please make your donations. Tomorrow morning, we start early because I got to go and talk to a summer school. Some little children at summer school, 8, 9, 10-year-old. I love that. So tomorrow morning, bright and early, that's how I start my day, to go and talk to them about emancipation and slavery and so on. 8, 9, 10, 11, teacher get through to me and thing. And then as things would have it, another teacher, another teacher. So tomorrow morning and then Wednesday morning, I got to do the same thing. It's all part of the job, all part of the consciousness raising, all part of doing what we're supposed to do to get radical. Because I want them children to start getting radical from then the 9, 10, and 11. And so we're taking the radical message. Again. I see you all tomorrow, whether live here or live at the libation in Buxton.